Well, respect shown to our late Queen has been overwhelming, but not quite universal. One or two tacky Green senators tried to politicise her death, attacking her as a coloniser, even though she actually helped to turn the British Empire into the Commonwealth of Nations we know. And the Women's League of the AFL, citing Indigenous sensitivities, refused to have a minute's silence at subsequent games after the first game of the weekend's AFLW Indigenous Round. But there's more. Despite clear advice from the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet for the national flag to be flown at half-mast immediately, quote, and until further notice, upon the Queen's death, and the further advice that when the national flag is flown with other flags, those flags must be set at a half-mast as well. Well, woke Melbourne councils are doing their own thing. Here's Melbourne City Council flying the national flag at half-mast and the Indigenous flag at full-mast. I guess the fig leaf here might have been that in the official advice it says something about asking the permission of other nations to fly their flags at half-mast along the Australian flag. But hang on, Indigenous people are not citizens of foreign countries, they're Australians. And certainly Government House didn't run the Indigenous flag or fly it at half-mast along a national flag. The Melbourne City Council has now been shamed into putting both flags to half-mast. But other councils, like Darebin in Melbourne, they're still flying one at half-mast and the other at full-mast. A bit of an embarrassing display of political correctness. Indigenous leader Warren Mundine took on the AFL over the Women's League stand, labelling it insulting and patronising. Let's have a listen.
I found it quite insulting, actually, because it's sort of like us poor Aboriginal people. We won't be able to stand 60 minutes of our life, you know, paying respect to the monarch. There are a lot of Aboriginal people who respected that monarch. There's a lot of Aboriginal people who have good manners who would have stood there and for that 60-second silence and that. I'm just getting sick and tired of, you know, and I'll say it, you know, people can call me a racist or not, of white people and white organisations telling me how I should feel.
I think away from the elites and those who want to tell us how to think and what to feel, a good majority of Australians would be of the view, is it too much to expect a bit of respect for someone who's lived a long life in the service of others?